But sometimes you gotta go ghost. You're living in your dream house, and then all of a sudden, at a drop of a dime, this sweet dream of yours now becomes a beautiful nightmare. You started noticing they don't value you. The person that you're with, there's a sense of betrayal there. So all that money that you saved, gone. God, this is everything that I prayed for. What happened? Hey y'all, it's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Dwayne O'Neal Robinson, back at it again, another YouTube video. Listen, I want to thank all my supporters, all 196 subscribers. Thank you for all your love, support, and your comments. I just also want you to know, if this is your first time stopping by the DOR space, I want to say thank you and welcome. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell button. Therefore, every time I post, you will get the notification, and you could continue to watch me as I express my authenticity in my cinematic art. All right, so today, as y'all see, I'm outside. This is my version of being in nature, listening to God. Y'all saw that I was grounding a little bit, praying, just centering myself, making sure that my energy is right, releasing any negativity, right? So like I told y'all before in the previous video of why I went ghost, these are the simple little things of me being outside, getting vitamin D, being able to, just listen to God, hear what's going on in nature. And this is my version of the sauna too. Let me sweat, get all that toxins out, and just clear my mind, make sure that I'm grounded, make sure that I'm leveled, that I have high vibrations and not low vibrations, right? So I know y'all saw the introduction. I'm going to be doing a 3-part series. So this is part 1, right? So I'm going to let y'all know basically how I lost my dream house. And this is a very touchy subject for me, right? So let me first by saying this. Your dream is your dream, right? It's no one else's dream to accomplish. It is yours. It doesn't matter who it is, spouse, parent, family member, friends, best friends, co-workers, enemy or foe. Your dream is your dream because that's what God implanted in you. That is your assignment. There is a reason why you need to be getting that done. That's your assignment. That's your mission. That's your purpose. That's your passion. That should be your drive. Now, for those who don't know and have not gathered it yet, I am a very A-type personality man. I am very driven, very ambitious. I am one that love to do tasks, one that love to accomplish standards, one that love to accomplish my goals, whether short term, long term. Okay, so based off of this video, you're gonna get some intimate insight. So starting off really young, back in my childhood, I never had the opportunity to have friends over and feel proud about my home, or I was born and lived and raised into this house and this is my family lineage, and when my parents die they're going to pass it down to me. That's not the case for me. For majority of my life, my mom rented, and for 13 years we lived in a 1-bedroom efficiency in somebody's backyard. And that was my life. I hated it. I didn't like it. I wanted my own space. I wanted to be proud of where I lived. I never wanted to be home and grow up that way. But that was my life. That was my childhood. That was a good part of my adolescence. And then it was 11 years that we almost lived into this low income apartment, right, where I finally got my room. I didn't get my first room until I was like 21 years old, right? Just to put it in perspective. So for me, I always had this drive that, when I get older, I'm going to go to school, get an education, get a career. When I get a career, I'm going to, get my bag right. Once I get my bag right, at the age of 25, everything should be set, right? That was my timeline. That was my trajectory. That was my plan. Boom. By the age of 25, I should have my career. I should be married. I should have a child. I should have my first house, and I'll just live life and have it evolve as it may be, right? So that didn't happen. I didn't get married. I didn't have my first child. So, I just started really, really working and grinding. And because it has been always been for a large part of my life, it's been me and my mom. So when my dad wasn't around and he was trying to figure out his life and struggling with his own demons and stuff like that, it was my mom that was holding me down. So, she was the one that was providing for me. And my dad did his thing too when he could, but it wasn't consistent, I should say, right? He had his ups and downs as every man. And he stated to me, once you become a man, Dwayne, you will understand. And when I did become a man and I started walking in my masculinity and understanding it, like I fully had a conversation with him and I was just like, Pops, like, I understand what you were talking about. I never forget that statement. So just to give you all a little backstory, right? So I graduated college in 2014. I was 24, right? 4 years, got it done, got a BA in English, decided that I was going to teach. So I was just like, all right, let me try to get some type of money. Even though teachers don't make money, I was just like, yo, I'm going to make it work because it's much more money than my mom was making, which she was living off of like maybe $15,000-$20,000 a year with raising me. So it wasn't really much that she could do, right? So I said, nah, I'm gonna step it up and make sure I do what I gotta do. So, which I did. I saved my money and I worked and I was diligent and very consistent and disciplined, right? However, living in South Florida, it is very expensive, very competitive. The housing market, man, is very difficult. So, boom, this happened. Let me tell y'all the power of vision. Let me tell y'all the power of prayer. Let me tell y'all about the power of manifestation. Okay? You see, when you go to God and you pray and you ask God for what you need and what you want, and you're a good person and you care about other people and you're showing love and compassion and you're doing everything what God called you, being the man or the woman that God called you to be, He will bless you. He don't have to bless you, but He will bless you, right? So I remember start looking for houses and I'll see a house and didn't like it, or my mom didn't like it, and because I was just like, I want to move my mom, like the hood dream, right? You make it, you glow up, you get a bag, you mama get a house. Ugh. My whole thing was I needed to pay back my mom for all the sacrifices that she did for me. So now is the time, right? So boom. I remember back in 2017, right? I saw this housing development starting to be built. And I'm like, man, these houses are beautiful. I would drive past by it, and then I noticed that the model homes was ready and built. And I took a picture of the house, man, and I was just like, I love this house. I like the architecture of it. It was like this large. Come to find out, it was like $600,000 back in 2017, right? It's a large house, 5 bedroom, 2-car garage with a loft, with a pool, master suite. Like I want to say it was like 3,500 square footage. Beautiful house, man. I'm talking about mud room, pantry, laundry room, all of that. Balcony, front and back. Beautiful house, right? And I remember taking a picture of it, putting it on my vision board, and like, God, if you could bless me with a house like this or this house, man, this would be great. And fast forward into 2019, where I'm noticing it's the turn of the decade. I I really didn't like my 20s, like I told y'all before. I wanted to go through a rebirth, a reemergence within my 30s. So in my 30s, I'm like, man, God, I need to get a house before the age of 30. That is a standard for me. You got to make it happen. And God told me, okay, that's what you want to do. You consulting me one on one. You coming to me, and you believe that I'm the creator of the universe and I can provide all things. Start looking. So I did. You know, start looking, found a house. I was like, oh, this is the one. Didn't get approved for it. And I could not get approved for anything in South Florida. So at the time I was talking to my best friend and I'm like, man, this housing journey, man, ain't really working. And mind y'all, this is during the turn and the beginning of the pandemic. So 2020 starts happening and we're seeing the turn where things start to shut down, the world starts to shut down. But for Dwayne, ain't nothing shut down for me, baby. I kept on going and growing. So I started looking, and something came to my mind where I was just like, man, South Florida is not loving me the way how I love it. It's not returning that love back to me. That's what I was saying, right? So I turned to my best friend at the time and I was just like, yo, I think I got to step up and step out of here, man. And he was just like, yo, do whatever you got to do, D. Like, I support you. I was like, all right, bet. So he started looking for houses. I started looking for houses. I started to work with my other best friend from middle school, his cousin. He was a realtor. And I was just like, yo, I'm going to check out, Central Florida, Orlando area. And I found this beautiful house, right? I saw the MLS and I was just like, it said that it was 4 bedroom, 3 bath. And I was just like, man, sometimes on the MLS, it be lying. Like, it don't be telling you what's good, right? So I pull up to the house. I tell the realtor, send me the code or whatever the case may be, gate code, and also the lockbox code so I could get in. And he was like, all right, I'll meet you there. Cool. Like, literally pull up. Like, I felt like it was the Bel Air. You know what I mean? Big gates, iron gates with this beautiful iron work, and put in the gate code, and boom, you open the gates, open slowly, and I'm driving in and I'm like, that's the house. That's the house right there. And my mom is with me, and I'm working at this time, traveling back and forth, working at home, all of that, like literally working around the clock, sometimes 12, 16, 18 hours to make sure I'm getting the job done, and also traveling back and forth from South Florida to Central Florida to look at multiple different houses. Like, when I tell y'all I was on the grind, I was on the grind. So boom, I see the house, I get in there, and it looks a little bit decrepit, but I'm like, it just needs a little cleaning. And I walk through the foyer area, and to my surprise, y'all, if I have some pictures, I'm gonna post them. It's this beautiful 20-foot vaulted ceiling, 2-car garage with a loft, 4 bedroom, 3 full bath, 2-story house that's 2,700 square feet with Spanish arches and on the corner lot. I'm talking about a chef kiss. And it's not until recently wherein I was talking to a coworker and they were asking me what are my non-negotiables in a house. And I looked at my vision board and it clicked to me. God gave me, for my first home, my actual dream home. I'll say it again for the people in the back. God gave me my actual dream home in my first home. I didn't have to do anything to that house. It was perfect the way it was. If I needed to do anything, it would be all cosmetic. And I'm like, wow, God is so good. God is so good. When I tell y'all, I saved every red cent that I had, and I put that down payment on that house, and I got that house. And my mom and I was like, Mom, we moving, we leaving out of this apartment, kissing it goodbye, we out. Because during that same time, the apartment complex that I was living in, they were saying that they were going to raise the rent because they were going under new management. And the things that they were going to be changing, it wasn't going to be nothing much. So it didn't make no sense for me to remain in that apartment. The rent is going up, but the living conditions are not going to improve, right? So let me tell you how God is so great. Not only did he bless me with this house, right? The same amount of money that I was paying for rent for this 2 bedroom apartment was exactly not a penny less or a penny more than the actual rent that I was paying for that 2 bedroom apartment. So for this 2 bedroom apartment, I'm now elevating for the same price for a 4 bedroom house, 3 bath, with an association, and all the spectacles and the bells and whistles. Like, you talk about moving on up on the east side, we finally got a piece of the pie. That was me. Been there, done that, lived that. But I started to realize, living with my mom, there was a turn. And the turn took place wherein I noticed that there was a power struggle, wherein my mother didn't want to relinquish or accept the fact that I was becoming a man, or I was a man, and that it was my house. And she wanted to run amok and a havoc in doing certain things and have a saying who I'm dating and have a saying this and have a saying that. I'm like, yo, you can't have no saying this because you ain't put no money up, sis, because your credit was bad. You barely had a job. I had to help you find a job on top of that, on top of everything that I'm doing, right? And when she didn't have a job, I had to pay all her bills. And doing that, she didn't have the income to be on the contract or to do the deal of the house. But from my understanding, she was going around telling people that she was the one that purchased the house when that wasn't true. It was me. So when I'm starting to find all these things out and she's talking about me and saying all of these negative things, how I'm a bad son, how I don't want to work, and how I'm all of these lies, all of these things because she could not get her own way because she wanted to be narcissistic and she loves to be in control. And because I was standing up to her and cutting her off with certain things, she got upset. And she got up and moved out of the house. Y'all, when I tell you, the reason being why she got up and moved out of the house because we got into a big altercation on her birthday weekend, which I was driving her to her birthday party, which I helped plan. And because I overslept and was running late, she got upset with me and started cussing me out like a dog. And I said, no, you cannot act like this. I'm sick and tired of your behavior. We are no longer doing this. I cannot tolerate this. You have run amok, and I am not dealing with this anymore. Because I did that, because I put my foot down as a man, she got up and abandoned me. Knowing that we had an agreement, hey, listen, you're going to help me with the mortgage, cool, no problem. But because you're in such severe debt, I'm going to take on 90% of the bills because I wrote it all out. And I said, you're going to have to worry about 10%. I don't want you to worry about anything about the house. All you got to do, you want to contribute, I'll take whatever you want to contribute. Cool, no problem. However, just know you need to get your credit up. You need to get your finances up. You know, I'll hold down everything until you get on your feet. Now, when you get on your feet, I'll put your name on the deed. We could start working on the cosmetic stuff, getting furniture, all of that. That was the agreement. However, because she didn't get what she wanted, right? That's when I saw how women, not just because she's my mother, but how women could be. I never been married before, but I got a taste of what divorce is like, and I don't want no parts of it at all. Because of that shift, I realized that I needed to go ghost. I needed to distance myself from my mother. I needed to distance myself from people. I needed to distance myself from negativity because who I felt who was really supposed to be in my corner was not there. And that's just the truth. So now I'm living in this beautiful dream home that I wasn't only doing it for me, but I was doing it for her. I was doing it for my legacy. I was doing it for my future family. And now I felt as if all of this shifted. Now, when she moved out, one of my homeboys was in another city and he was going through a hard time. And I'm like, yo, well, my mom moved out. Yo, you could come stay with me until you get back on your feet or whatever the case may be. And, you know, me and you could figure things out or whatever. And then on top of that too, I had to quit my job because now the world was opening back up. So my job was calling me and telling me to report back to South Florida, but I already done moved. And I was just like, all right, well, y'all gave me a horrible evaluation. First of all, why I'm gonna come back and I already moved. I already did what I needed to do. I already got my house. I'm out. So I quit. So I don't got no job. I got this house. I'm trying to help out my homeboy, you know, and all of a sudden she said she wanted to move back in. So I was just like, cool, move back in. These are the standards. I got somebody paying rent living here, doing their thing. You could do your thing, but to really be honest, I don't really care what you do. Like, I don't really see you as my mom right now. I just see you as another tenant. That's it. So because of that, she didn't like that. She didn't like that. Oh, the whole abuse cycle, like everything was gonna be all right and everything was gonna go back to normal. No, because you betrayed me. And in that betrayal, I'm starting to see all these things that were so nasty and egregious that she was saying and doing to me. I was just like, yo, I love you, but our relationship will never be the same, respectfully. So She ended up moving out for a second time, going wherever she needed to go. We didn't speak for 6 months. I ended up getting COVID, and then I ended up getting fined by my association, which I just moved into the house, and they said that I needed to paint the house. I wasn't even in the house, y'all, for a year. And now, like I said, I ain't got no job. I'm hustling, I'm doing things, I'm using my savings, whatever little money that I have to get by, or whatever the case may be. And I decided that I had to put my house up for sale. My dream house, I had to let it go because emotionally I just wasn't there. Mentally I wasn't there. Financially I couldn't cope with it. And a lot of friends of mine was like, yo D, don't sell the house, don't sell the house. But I just felt as if it was tainted, and I accomplished something that was really big, and it just wasn't my home anymore. It was a house, and I didn't really feel comfortable with it anymore. And you know, this happened 5 years ago. Um, and I never really been the same from that, because I was just like, look how God blessed me with something, and I allowed another human being or situation to basically, you know, make me lose my blessing, where I had to relinquish it. It was my dream, not my mother's dream, not my father's dream, because if it was their dream, they would have accomplished it. It was mine. And as a man, I take full responsibility for it. I can't take responsibility for anybody else's actions. I only could take responsibility for mine. And I never really been the same from that. I was very angry, very bitter. I was very embarrassed. I sold the house, but at the end of the day, like, that's not what I really wanted to do. I literally had to start my whole life all over again. And that was embarrassing for me as a man, you know? And I really learned the hard way about life. Like, I learned about women, I learned about people, I learned about finances, and thank God, like, I was able to pay my mortgage and sell it, because I sold it like towards the end of 2021. And I just felt like, all right, D, if you could do it once, you're gonna do it again. And when you do it again this time, you're gonna do it on your terms. And I think about that house all the time. I look at that house all the time. I go on Zillow, and you know it hurt me sometimes, but I realize that what is for you. And whatever you're working for, whatever you're striving for, whatever you're doing, make sure you're doing it for you and for nobody else. Don't do it for nobody else. Don't try to make other people happy. Don't try to make your children happy or your spouse happy. I can't speak on that. But if you're not happy, if you're not whole in all aspects of your life, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, then you can't give your 100% or your best to this world. And I know I'm way over my time. This video is not as short as my other ones, but I just want y'all to really understand, like, if you're going through something, talk about it. If you're seeing the signs in people, bro, that may be dogging you or treating you bad, believe it, see it, receive it. You understand? Don't try to cover it up. Once somebody show you their true colors, that's their true colors. If it's red, it's red, my G. Don't be like, oh no, it's just a little bit of, crimson. No, crimson, burgundy, red. Red is red, bro. Alert, stop, danger. Be alarmed. Listen to what people say. Watch how people act. Because when you listen to what they say, they're telling you what's in their heart. Their actions speak louder than words. So be very careful. It doesn't matter. Family, friends, co-workers, foe, because a lot of the times you could put yourself on the line, and then in return, what you get? the short end of the stick. You lose your blessing. Everybody get up and live their life and continue doing what you're doing while you're stuck cleaning up the mess, trying to undo the trauma and pick up the pieces where you left off. I don't have a house right now, but I'm gonna get another one. I'm gonna get another one real soon. And just like I did in 2017, I saw that house and I loved it. And God in 2019, which is so crazy. Remember I told y'all that, I needed a house before my 30th birthday. My birthday is on September 3rd. I closed on that house on August 16th, moved in on the 27th. Do the math. How many days was that before my birthday, my 30th birthday? God, when you hold on to God's unchanging hand, and sometimes my faith is high, sometimes low, sometimes, I have my phases. With every relationship, you're gonna have your highs and lows and how you gotta work on it. But you see, when you tapped in, when you plugged into God, when you fasting and you praying and you out here grounding, minding your own business, working on yourself, trust and believe. God see you, God hear you. He already written your story out. He already got something for you. And when I was frustrated those nights and those mornings, and I used to shed tears and be like, God, what's going on? What I'm doing? He's like, don't worry, son, I got you. I got you. I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna give it to you. But I just need you to remain faithful. So I don't know who need to hear this. There may be some people or a person in your life that may be holding you back from your dream, may be holding you back from your blessing, may be holding you back from your greatness. You need to cut them off. And if you can't cut them off, distance yourself. It's okay. I'm telling you, it's all right for you to start over. It's all right for you to go against the grind. It's okay. Trust and believe me, it's all right. If you did it once, you could do it again. If you lost this time, if you failed this time, your success is coming. Trust me, because I've been there, done that. And when I could tell you this, nobody loved my mom the way how I love my mom. But I realized, you have some issues that you have to deal with. And I can't save you. I done did it all. Not only did I try to be the best son to you, I did more than that. I went above and beyond. A child don't owe a parent nothing. A parent owe that child everything. They're supposed to lay down their life. They're supposed to lay down. I don't owe my parents nothing. I don't. But respect and love. But why would you want to be around people that only love you for what you could do and not love you for who you are? So on that note, y'all, that is how I lost my dream house. But like I said, I'm going to get another one. I got my eye on one. And this time, nobody's opinions, nobody's thoughts, no one's feelings. I'm doing it myself. Just me, myself, and I, and God. That's it. And once God give me the green light, I'm gone. I'm going. I'm growing. Nobody's not going to stop me. No matter how many people try to stop me. No matter how many people from a young age say so many negative things about me, try to hold me down, because it's just like, when somebody's doing so good, misery like company, so they want to tear you down. It's all right, though. It's all right. I'm proud of myself because I was so embarrassed to talk about this. So embarrassed because I needed to protect my family. I needed to protect my mom. I needed to protect myself, my reputation. I ain't doing nothing wrong. I did everything right. Everything right. But it took me some time to admit that, speak that, believe that, understand that. You only can control yourself. You can't control nobody else. But trust and believe. The way how God blessed me from my first home is unorthodox. Telling you, unorthodox, yo. But this second time around, I got it. He got me. I just need to really trust him again. Hold on to his unchanging hand and believe, be delusional, be crazy, be, yo, that's what I want. I already got it. The house that I'm looking at, matter of fact, I already got it. I'm just waiting to move in. I don't know when I'm gonna move in, but I'm just waiting to move in. That's because I know my God is faithful. And I know I've been faithful to him. I mess up every now and then because I'm a man. However, that situation of having my first home, I learned so much. And I'm grateful for it. It was very painful. It was very emotionally daunting. But I'm grateful for that experience because it made me such a stronger, more solid, more vigilant man. And now I know where I stand. And no one or nothing can come between God and myself. No boy, no man, no girl, no woman, no child, no parent, no family, none of that. None of that. So I'm going to continue grounding and enjoying this beautiful nature as the sun goes down. And I'm going to give y'all part 2 of how I lost my best friends. Ooh, whew, I got that. Woo, stay tuned for that one. Yup. Talk about grief. Been there, done that. Gave the shirt back, baby. But until next time, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. Hit that bell button every time I post, so therefore you can get a better understanding of how to be a better human being through my experiences through cinematic art. Until next time, peace.